Okay, in the bottom left we have Warble playing Mercia in the gold versus Skyro playing Koji in the green.
Oh, Warble did the. It's like the first time I played this, I opened on this map. Like because you've played so much Headland in Wargroove 1, you captured that village on the more like closer to the center with the commander, like almost as muscle memory. And after you do it, you're like, oh, I was supposed to capture the other village. So yeah, that's pretty funny. But I mean, it's not too bad. And Warble doesn't have that excuse. But let's see what happens.
Speaking of Warble sticking with the Mercia.
Yeah.
I actually haven't seen Warble play something that isn't Mercia yet. I'm very curious about what Warble's going to play in the open. Like, will someone ban Mercia against Warble just because it's the only thing we've ever seen Warble play?
Or do you just leave it open so that he doesn't play a better show?
Yeah. Alright, pretty standard so far. I think Skyro got that air trooper early too. But I don't think the air trooper gets a ton of value because it frees up an action on this on the sword, and the sword got to hit another sword in the forest, so that's not much. It's also against Mercia, so like damaging a unit isn't that valuable. Ooh, if you damage it again though. Alright. Commander boys are pretty much at the same point, but yeah, Harpy probably more effective at doing that.
Yeah, I think in Headland you want proper air units.
I was thinking probably like you could have decapped the village with the sword and the air trooper, but I think the sword does barely not enough in that situation. And ooh, dragon.
I guess air trooper could combo with knights. If you're out of swords in the area, you can knight plus air trooper villages. Pick up and cap.
An early groove there at Warble, that's pretty standard for Warble really. Just pops the tier 1 groove and it's just like, you know what, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to then build up for getting an actual properly good value groove later because, you know, just like slightly healing a sword and getting Mercy up for free is quite nice.
Yeah, you want, I mean, gets Mercia back to pretty much full.
Yeah, she just has like a little bit of chip damage on her, but you know, that's like 100 gold to heal, so, you know.
It also, like, instead of healing on the center village with Mercia, which would leave it at low enough that the sword could just decap it, and then, like, you have to pay attention to that area of the map. Now, it's a bit more awkward for Skyro. Like, yeah, has to damage the sword on the village, so that's more extra value from the groove.
And also cannot capture it this turn.
Yep.
Although you might, I don't know if you want to capture it. And that sword gets killed now.
Ooh, yeah. Not enough mages from Skyro.
So the damage on the sword allowed it to get killed like this. Otherwise, one dog wouldn't have been enough.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
Yeah, Warble getting a very nice position here.
Yeah, Dragon
And
can
I
get
mean,
hit
they
by
also
the
have
hard.
some better units probably, like Air Trooper can do nice stuff like that, but not the best combat units. And yeah, now you have a bunch of harpies. I guess here you like the harpies are gonna like one harpy at least is gonna die to a mage.
Ooh,
But I
but
guess
that
that
mage will
frees
die
up
in
some
return.
anti-air for Koji. But
Yeah.
I find like the anti-air overload aspect from Koji is way less important in Wargroove 2, because like I mean first of all the bombs get one shot at tier 1, and at tier 2 like you just need to witch hex to one-shot them.
But it's still there. Because
Yeah,
like
but there's also a bunch of stuff like harpies now being more like you have more harpies around, and harpies also one-shot bombs.
oh, that's fair too. Yeah.
And like people really love harpy spamming, and I don't want it to be good, so I keep like having to fight it without doing it myself, which
I don't think it's that good, but it's like harpies are
pretty
okay
good.
finally.
Pretty good damage. But like usually you keep Koji Group early, so
Yeah, I don't like
we'll
it.
see. I mean,
I don't
there
like
is no
seeing it.
anti-air this turn, so you can just send the Harpy in to get value. Oh wait, actually I don't like that damage at all. Because that's 2 units that are pretty much one Mercia Groove away from full health.
Yeah,
Oh, she's
And,
gonna have tier 1 like any second there too.
yeah.
And
yeah,
there we go.
that's... Alright, and now you're like, oh no, the Harpy can hit the dragon, but it doesn't really matter. Ooh, that's...
And Koji could have kept Groove for tier 2 or, done anything
Yeah,
else.
I mean, I think it's probably better to hold Koji Groove until you, like, win the game with it, usually.
Yeah. Or you could try to, force a few more mages out and then do damage if you want to do damage.
Yeah, or I mean, I guess like something else you could do is like just use one bomb to chip, so it's like not great for Mercia to use her groove to heal them, but if you use both, then all of a sudden like, oh, Mercia groove actually gives really good value when it does get used.
I mean,
Yeah.
Warble kinda like got better trades this fight, especially with the Mercia groove.
This is actually like probably some of the best value I've seen out of a Mercia, like in a match so far. He's gone like 3 grooves and they've all been really good value.
Yeah, the Harpies and the Dragon are also getting a bunch of value.
And oh wow, even getting extra mage heals on top of all this.
Everything is clicking for Warble's army and not that much for Skyro's army.
Yeah, and like, I mean, Skyro built like that early air trooper, which didn't do much, and Warble, I got an early dragon, which came out later, but probably did more. Got a
Dragon
Harpy
and
too
Mercia
early.
work together pretty well.
But yeah, I mean,
Anyway.
that was just a really good game from Warble, and Skyro in chat saying they messed up the opening. Which, yeah, fair enough. Like, I think we all seem to be on the same page about the Air Trooper. Maybe not the best choice. But, yeah, well
Didn't
played
pay
to
much
Warble.
attention to the very early moves, so I can't like talk about specific things, but the opening on Headland is like deceptively hard. There's a lot of depth to it that people don't expect because Headland is like one of the simpler maps. Or at least that's the perception of it. But the opening is super deep.
Yeah, and I guess, like, it's also a very old map, so people, like, kind of know stuff about it, too. It's very solved in some ways, but...
I'd say the people who, like, fully know
But
it
there's
are,
an
like...
extra village in the opening.
Alright, fair, but, like...
Oh, maybe it's saying, yeah. I didn't consider that either.
It is interesting seeing it in the context of Wargroove too, I will say that. Definitely had a lot of fun games played and seen on it, so yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess part of the theory on Headland was like CO groove denial in some cases, which will be very different now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you don't like not care about commanders hitting a village, but it's not as bad as in Wargroove 1.
Yeah, and we made that theory in Wargroove 1 with like COs like Vesper in mind, mainly for Vesper mirrors or stuff like this, and like or maybe some Tenry games, Yeah, so it was super important then. And now it's like, well, not irrelevant, but not important in the same way. Anyway,